What is up, college football fans? What is up, Clemson Tiger fans? Happy Monday. Guess what else it is? It's spring game week. Are you excited? I'm excited. I will be there. So anybody who wants to come say hello, I'll be tailgating. The same place I tailgate every year is on the west side of the end zone where the Oculus is, right next to the Tiger Walk. If you've been there before, you know exactly what parking lot I'm talking about. So we'll be out there. I'll be out there with the wife and the kids and hopefully a couple of other friends tailgating and shooting the you-know-what before and after the game. Another thing I want to talk about before we get to the spring game talk, I know this is not football related or even Clemson related, but it is something that's in the news that I found interesting and I have an opinion on. And I want to hear your opinion on it. I know a lot of you probably watch Major League Baseball. I only watch it to bet on it. I'm not going to lie. I really don't have that much interest in it. But if I'm betting, I do. So I pay attention to what's going on, even though I'm not a huge fan of the sport. Well, apparently the New York Yankees have figured out, some magic formula on how to make a bat, but not technically cheat doing it. They made their own bats. They're calling them the Torpedo bat because if you look at the shape of the bat, it looks like a torpedo from a submarine, right? But what it is basically, there's only like three major or main parameters as far as what the bat can be and still be legal, or can't be and still be legal. Can't be longer than 42 inches long. It all has to be made out of one piece of solid wood. In other words, you can't have one section of the bat that's oak and then, another part that's maple. It's got to be one piece of wood, all the same type of wood. What's the other? Can't be more than, whatever it is, 3 inches at its fattest point diameter. I think it's 3 inches or something like that. Whatever it is, that's the three main things. As long as you stay within those three parameters, technically, it's a legal bat to use in baseball. So what the analytics guy did for the Yankees was go and study where are our guys missing the ball the most when they swing and miss. Well, they figured out that they're missing most of the time lower on the bat. So they say, okay, well, how about we take the fattest part of the bat and move it down? It makes the bat look funnier. Like I said, kind of like a torpedo. So the fat part of the bat comes towards the handle, and the tip of it ends up being a little bit skinnier instead of fatter at the end. So anyway, turns out it works. They're hit. What was it? They hit 10 home runs in one game. I think that was yesterday or the day before. They had the first three batters go out of the park. First three batters go yard. So now, of course, this is causing an uproar around the league and the fans and the other players. Everyone's calling them cheaters. They're not technically cheating. And this is what else you're going to see. You're going to see every other. Imagine what it's like in a front office of a Major League Baseball program right now, franchise. I bet the phones are ringing off the hook, man. Well, hey, we got to find us the blueprints to get this bat. We need these bats. Before you know it, every team in the league is going to be using this same type of bat. Now, unless for some reason Major League Baseball decides to change their rules on the specs of the bat. In other words, they might say, okay, all the same specs as before, and also you can't move the fatter part of the bat down towards the handle. Like that's possible. They may do that. If they do that, what does that mean for the home runs and wins they've already got with the current bat? I don't see how you can retroactively take away their wins or their home runs because they weren't breaking any rules. Here's what I really want to know. As a baseball fan, how many of you think this might actually be a good thing for baseball? I mean, they figured out a way to engineer a bat within the rules. It turns out it works. People love seeing home runs, right? All we do is complain about how baseball is boring. They don't score enough. The games are too long. All of these things. People love to see scoring. All these other sports have made it to where scoring is more like in football, for example. They've changed the rules constantly to favor the offenses because the viewers like to see scoring. So I think that baseball should probably embrace this and say, you know what? Hey, anybody who wants this style of bat, have at it. Let's have 20 to 18 run games. And let's get a younger generation in here that's super stoked about watching baseball. I mean, people love watching the home run derby. Well, let's bring the home run derby to actual real games. I don't even care. I know there's purists out there. Look, I'm that way with football. So if you're one of these baseball purists that doesn't want to see, a 20 to 17 run baseball game every game, I get it. I understand, and I'm not telling you how to feel. Me personally, I'm not a huge baseball fan, so I don't care. I'm just, hell, let them hit as many home runs as they want. I could care less. Bring back steroids, too, while you're at it. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on the Torpedo bat and what this means for baseball. All right, on to the spring game. Now, look, we talk about this every year. I've made videos about this every year. I go to the spring game every year. I was not going to go this year. Turns out I am going to go this year, so that's great news. But here's what I do know about the spring game, especially since I've been on YouTube. People put way too much stock in the spring game. I don't go to the spring game expecting to learn a whole lot about anything. What I go to the spring game for, number one, is just fun. I take my family. I go hang out with friends. It's more of a social event for me than anything else. Now, is there things I'm looking for on the field? Yes, of course. Mainly freshmen. Freshmen that we haven't seen play before, either freshmen or maybe a sophomore or junior who's never started before but now is going to get their chance this season to start. In other words, guys that we haven't seen start yet for Clemson. That's what I'm looking at. Or guys coming back from injury. An example of that would be like a Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown missed a good portion. I mean, he was basically on the milk carton last year, and he had two true freshmen, Wesco and Moore, pass over him because he wasn't on the field. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to see how Tyler Brown is bouncing back from injury. How does he look? For me this year, the main thing I'm going to be looking at, the main position group, is going to be the running back room, right? Because now Maffa's gone. We lost Shipley the year before that. So there's a big gaping hole there. Who's going to be the guy? We've got one of the best potential recruits in the country. Gideon Davidson will be a freshman this year. He's a guy, and this isn't just a good running back. This is a guy who could have went to and probably started at any program in the country. He's one of those rare guys, and he chose Clemson. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him. Also, in the running back room, don't look now, Adam Randall. They moved Adam Randall from wide receiver to running back officially and permanently now. He's no longer a wide receiver. Last year, he played wide receiver most of the year. He did play in the playoffs in the postseason as a running back primarily. He didn't get very many touches because he was a wide receiver, and I'm sure he had a hard time, learning the playbook and all that. But when he did touch the ball, he ran pretty well. So it turns out Adam Randall, pretty good runner, just can't catch it. I don't know. So that's going to be one of the more interesting changes of the season is watching Adam Randall in the backfield. And what will he be? RB2, RB3, or buried way down the depth chart? I don't know. But I'm looking forward to seeing that. I don't put too much stock in the current players, the veteran players, the guys that have started and played a lot of games. And here's an example. I know I harped on this on my last video too. Cade Klubnik last year played terrible in the spring game. Trent Pierman played great in the spring game. The fans were going out of their minds with we need to just move on from Klubnik. People were calling me delusional. Pete, you just need to accept reality. Cade he's just not any good. You can't hit on all the 5 stars. I mean, look at what happened with DJ Uiagalelei. He was a complete bust. Where this is DJ Uiagalelei part 2. Pete, you need to just let it go. Pete. And I'm like, what? Trent Pearman? Have you guys lost your mind? It's a glorified practice we're watching here. Well, long story short, turns out Cade Klubnik pretty good. So anyway, I don't put too much stock in any one player's performance in a spring practice game. And that's what I call it. I don't call it a spring game. I call it a spring practice game because that's what it is. It's a practice game. It's a scrimmage. There's nothing real about it at all. But again, you do get to see some, like last year, Wesco played great in the spring game. So there was some excitement around Wesco. Turns out Wesco went on to have a great season, and now we're expecting him to have an even better season, stepping up into more of a leadership role probably as a sophomore, and this year. High expectations at Clemson. So look, a lot to be excited about. And I'll shoot some video like I do every year from the spring game. And then, of course, after the spring game's over with, I'll make a post-game thought video, opinion video about, what I saw and what I didn't see. Now, here's the one thing I don't want to see. This is all you can really hope for at any spring game. Good weather, if you're there, and no injuries. If there's good weather and no injuries, I can take anything that happens on the football field, and I'll be fine with it. So anyway, give me your thoughts below in the comments. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button too if you're new here. Give me your thoughts on what you expect to see and hope or want to see in this year's Clemson spring game. I feel bad for all the teams out there, fans of teams out there. They don't get a spring game because their coaches are too much of a, you-know-what. I'm not going to say it on here. I'm going to try to get this video monetized and not get demonetized. So there's coaches are too much of a you-know-what to have a spring game. Have a good day.